What if the thing you were meant to do isn't something you find, but something that finds you? Through the people who keep showing up in your life, asking for the same thing over and over until you finally notice a pattern. I recently had my astrology chart along with my human design chart read, half out of curiosity and half because I haven't really delved into human design. And it turned out something that stopped me in my tracks. And today I'm asking, was I meant to create bucket list retreats? I don't know for sure. And honestly, I don't think astrology and human design are proof of anything. And I'm not here to tell you that the stars design your life for you. But I am here to tell you when I read the words left angle cross of healing next to my name, something clicked. Not because a chart told me who I am, but because it gave me a language really that I've been searching for. And for something that I have felt for over 20 years and have never really said out loud. So today we're going to use this reading as a flashlight, not a roadmap, not a fact, but let's see what it lights up. Hello, dreamers, believers, and bucket list retreaters. Welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. My auto caption keeps calling it bucket list. So I'm trying to enunciate the bucket list retreats, the podcast, so we can get it right. And I don't have to catch it and fix it every time. I mean, seriously. But welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I am your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I could talk retreats all day long, and I appreciate being able to talk to you about it. If you are new here, welcome in. Around here, we believe a bucket list isn't just a collection of places that you want to go. It's the experiences around those places, the people you want to meet, the experiences you want to create, and the moments that make you feel completely alive. Today's episode is a little bit different. Part astrology, part human design, which I am just learning about, and part, was this my purpose all along? Stick with me if you have ever read a chart at all in your life. This really isn't about the stars. It's about the clues that we all leave behind us, whether we mean to or not. Before we get into today's slightly woo, slightly personal episode, let's talk about what has been going on. We are trying to wallpaper a room with peel and stick. Really, we're just doing one wall. I swear to God, I will never do peel and stick again. I would much rather have the wet and the paste where you can move the wallpaper around because, baby, once you get it on there, it's taking it on and off is not a good idea. So hubby's down there trying to finish it up. Thank God for that. And I am getting back to my regularly scheduled programming of Tuesday, recording the podcast. This has turned out to already be a busy week. I was with some of my friends doing a women's crafting day. My girlfriend made lunch for all of us and invited us all to create these adorable quilted art pieces. I will insert a picture here. It was such a fun afternoon. We had individually made pizzas and did this really cute craft that I think worked out so well. And then today is book club. I am really looking forward to that and finding out what books we're going to be reading over the fall. It's going to be so fun. I just love the women who have joined this group. It's a startup book club. And let me tell you, if you are looking for friends and interaction, it is a great way to start. One of the ladies in my book club sells fresh milk and eggs. I said, bring me one of each, please. I'm so excited to get those. And then we are so excited here at the podcast to let you know about a photo contest we are going to have next month on Instagram to celebrate our 1 year here on the podcast. We are partnering with Chris Beagle of Cabby. Cabby makes fabulous clothes, and you will all see it on Instagram when you join me over there, where I would love it if you would share a photo of a moment where you picture the joy, and that is the hashtag picture the joy. The contest runs from September 1st through September 30th. The rules are pretty simple. You just have to follow Bucket List Retreats and Chris's Cabby Instagram account and upload that picture with the hashtag. And we can't wait to see all of the entries. Now, Chris and I will be the ones making the final decision on the winner, but we can't wait to share all of them with you. The prize is $100 Cabby gift certificate. So that will get you well on your way to a beautiful capsule wardrobe. They do really awesome basics. And then each spring and fall come out with some maybe trendier designs to wear, but I love my Cabby. I can't believe I'm not wearing it today. I wear it a lot on the podcast because they last forever and are the most comfortable, stylish, and beautiful clothing that you will ever own. So I hope you'll consider uploading a photo and having it in our photo contest. Information, of course, in the show notes. And speaking about what's coming up next, let's get into retreat news. This article comes from Forbes.com by Sarah Hernholm and came out July 21st, 2026. It's entitled Wellness Retreats Are a $364 billion Industry. Burnout is Why. Now, because I don't have a subscription to Forbes.com, I went to paywallskipper.com, entered the link to the article, and was able to see the whole entire article. So there's a little tip for you there. But I will put a link down below to the article at Forbes.com. And this week's news confirms what all of us have known all along, that retreats really aren't just vacations. Increasingly, it is how people are recovering from their everyday lives. In the Forbes article, it says that the global wellness retreat market, which includes yoga and meditation retreats, fitness program, personal development experiences, often with nature-based getaways, was currently valued at about 180 billion, but that was back in 2022. It has projections to reach that nearly 364 billion by the year 2032. That is almost double in 10 years. But here's the part that really caught my eye. Burnout appears to be driving much of that growth. It also says in 2025, 55% of American workers are experiencing burnout. That experience climbed to 66% for Gen Z workers, 61% for fully remote workers, and 57% among hybrid type workers. And yet, 55% of Americans still do not use their vacation, the time that they are given paid time off. And the article points out this irony. Employees who use all of their vacation are actually more likely to receive a raise or promotion or both than those who leave 11 or more days of their vacation unused. So taking time away from your career is not damaging, but not taking it may be damaging us, you, me. And to my surprise, the article also pointed out that short retreats of just 2 to 3 nights count for more than 3/5 of global retreat venues. People may not feel able to take off a whole entire week, but they are willing to spend their own time and money for a few concentrated days. That's what I found to be very telling. Wellness used to be a lovely little addition to a getaway. Now, for many people, it's the entire reason they are booking, because sometimes we don't need another busy vacation. We need an experience that allows us to stop, reconnect, and come home feeling ourselves again. All right, so let's keep those on the radar. After reading about how burnout is fueling the growth of these wellness retreats, I went looking for a couple different retreats to review that were for burnout during this week's retreat reviews. And the one I decided to feature here today, we found Wild Getaway Retreats on the Ottawa River in Ontario, Canada. They offer weekend retreats. They offer weekend women retreats focused on burnout prevention, nervous system care, and reconnection. We want to know, of course, how they measure up to our 5 Bs. Let's start with the basics. The basics are partly there. We know the dates, location, the purpose, and that each retreat is limited to 15 women, but prices, complete schedules, meal accommodations, and practitioner details aren't readily available on the website. You're asked to join a interest list first. Second, beauty. And the beauty is strong. It has a riverfront setting with cottages and hot tubs surrounded by nature. And the language throughout the copy on the website does create a peaceful invitation. Third, the benefits I think are also clear. Intentional rest, restorative activities, private holistic treatments, along with community, plus time to follow your own energy instead of an overpacked schedule. And fourth, for believability, owner Julia Edwards brings more than 25 years of experience as a social worker, along with her own experience in burnout and mental health challenges does create a meaningful trust, although I still would like to see more about the individual practitioners. And finally, our 5th B, belonging. I think it might be their strongest B. Their message speaks directly to nature-loving women who give deeply and oftentimes need permission to receive. My verdict, the retreat feels thoughtful, intimate, and seems beautifully aligned with the burnout problem we talked about just a few moments ago. But the website does ask us to trust the feeling without giving us all of the facts. But in this case, the first retreat is already sold out. So the mystery hasn't stopped people from booking. But for a new guest, a retreat page would make that yes a lot easier. Speaking of reconnecting with yourself, that brings us beautifully into today's main topic of conversation. Because sometimes the reason we might feel stuck, overwhelmed, or simply out of rhythm isn't because something is wrong with us. We may just be trying to live, work, and make decisions in ways that don't naturally match us or who we are. For a beautiful example today, I'm going to put myself on the chopping block. Let's explore what my personality profile revealed and what understanding your own might reveal about you. Okay, so here's the setup. A few weeks ago, I had my astrological chart and my human design chart read. Now, I have delved into my astrology charts several times, often in the past few years, so I know a bit about it, but I haven't delved into human design. This was the first time. And it was partly to find out what it was going to say about me, partly but like with astrology, I don't bet my life on these charts or their readings. But I have had 3 independent retreat attendees tell me that I give Aries energy. And even though I thought I knew, I thought I would really like to delve into that a little bit further. What does that mean? I give Aries energy. I mean, it is true. I am an Aries in my sun sign and an Aries rising. And if you know anything about Aries, that tracks. I lead with my chin. I say yes before I've thought things through. Ask my team. Yet I also have a lot of Pisces placement in my chart as well. I have Venus and Saturn in Aquarius, Mars in Leo, a Capricorn midheaven, and a Cancer north node. In human design, I am a generator with emotional authority, a 5/1 profile, and that thing that grabbed my attention I told you about at the top of the show, something called the left angle cross of healing. I am not going to pretend that I understood half of that when I first read it. I had to read the left angle cross part 3 times, but that is the piece that stopped me. From what I've read, and I want to be completely clear, I am not an astrologer or a human design expert. This cross is described less like a goal that you chase and more like a role that finds you. It's less go out and heal the people and more like be a certain kind of presence. And healing tends to happen around you, sometimes to you, whether you planned it or not. And when I sat with that, I started thinking about every message I've ever received from a guest after a retreat. The ones that say something like, I didn't know I needed that, or something shifted in me. That's always my favorite. And then they go on to say, I can't even explain it. I did not plan for those moments. I planned itineraries, menus, and excursions, but something else is happening underneath it all. Here's a small story. Years ago, long before bucket list retreats had a name, a logo, or a single dollar of marketing budget, I used to host book club at my house. Nothing fancy, just a handful of women, some wine, and always some good food. And at some point in the evening, someone would end up crying at my kitchen table. And never because something sad had happened, but just because it was a rare where somebody actually asked them how they were doing and waited for the answer. I didn't design that. It just kept happening. Looking back now, I think that table was the very first bucket list retreat. I just didn't know it yet. Here's the part that's very on brand for me. My Aries side wants to charge in and build things immediately today, this very afternoon. But my design says I'm a generator with emotional authority. I can control my emotions, which means that real answers don't come from thinking hard and designing fast. They come from waiting, responding, letting clarity build over time, sometimes over days, sometimes over weeks. I can tell you exactly which decisions in this business came from the go now Aries and which one came from waiting it out. The retreats I booked because the destination photo looked beautiful and I hadn't yet let the idea sink were rocky. More stress than they were worth, with logistics that fought me every step of the way. But the retreats that came out of a slow build, a guest mentioning an idea to me sitting with that for a month, then other people echoing the same idea before I had even made a move. Those are the ones that filled up the fastest and got the best reviews every time. My Aries wants credit for starting this business, but if I'm honest, my generator side is the reason it is still going strong. And a few more pieces because I think they matter, even if we didn't spend all day on them. The Pisces placements explain a lot about how I can walk into a room and sense the one person who is having a hard time that week. That's not a party trick. That's just how I'm wired. That's just how I'm wired to pay attention. Venus and Saturn in Aquarius is an interesting combination because Aquarius wants freedom and community at the same time. And Saturn wants structure. So I love people deeply, but I love them best inside a container, a retreat, a schedule, a framework where connection has room to happen instead of being left to chance. That might be the most literal business-shaped placement in my chart. Then there's Mars in Leo, which means when I do take action, I want it to mean something. I'm not great at small, quiet moves. If I'm going to do something, I do want it to be a bit of a moment. And the Capricorn midheaven is how the world sees my work, my reputation, and Capricorn is patient, structured, and in it for the long haul, which is probably why, even in some of the chaotic years, a part of me always knew this wasn't just a summertime job. It was a business I was building for the next 20 years at least. Whether I said that out loud or not, there's also the Cancer North node in there, which is about nurturing, home, and belonging. And honestly, that might be an entire episode on its own. And today is not that day, but I'll keep it in my back pocket. So here is what I want to ask you. If you lead retreats, attend them, or if you are just listening because you want a little time off today to talk about self-reflection, what do people keep asking you for? Not what you advertise, not your job title. What do people actually come to you for over and over in totally different corners of your life? Maybe you're the friend that everyone calls when plans fall all apart because you're the one that always knows what to do next. Maybe you're the one who gets asked to make the plans every single time, even if you've done it technically every time before this. Maybe people tell you that being around you calms them down, and you've never once thought of that as a skill. Those aren't small things. Those are clues. And if you are a retreat leader listening right now, I want you to think about your own guests for a second. What do they keep telling you in the reviews, in the thank you notes, that you haven't fully let yourself hear yet? Sometimes we're so busy running all of the logistics that we miss what the thing is trying to tell us. It seems like repetition is the real chart reading. The stars are fun. The human design chart is fun. But the pattern in your own life, the thing that people keep asking you for, that is the actual flashlight. Astrology just gave me the words I was already looking for. I don't think astrology or human design gave me my purpose, but I do think that they handed me a mirror, and something in that mirror looked familiar. If you've been wondering about your own, was this my purpose moment? I'd love to hear about it. DM me or write in the comments the thing people keep coming to you for. I read every single one, and who knows, your answer might be exactly what the reader is looking to read. Thank you so much for joining me here on today's podcast. Keep retreating, keep exploring, and we will see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye. I gotta go to book club.
I love you, Gaga.